What's up, everybody? Here's another AC tip for you guys out there, or do-it-yourselfers, and you don't know where to go after this. So once you hook up your gauge set, if you have gauge sets, you can still buy them, you're going to get some readings. So when you turn the AC system on, if it's working, this gauge here will do something. It will be low, it will be in the good to normal areas, it'll be high. This one's either going to be low or high, so you need a foundation of what's going on in the system. And you have to make sure that your gauges are accurate. If you have old gauges, I don't know. If you have a parts store, charge it can't. I'm not really sure. All I can tell you is I trust my equipment because I do AC every day and it all works. So now you put your can on, it empties the can into the system and it still doesn't come on. And it's saying it's full. Well, then that indicates that you have another problem somewhere else in the system. And that's going to require diagnostic and time and chasing it down. Also, make sure that the belt's on the compressor. I mean, I've actually seen that happen too. But once you get to this point and you get the AC system coming on, your gauges are telling a story. So if this gauge is bam, as soon as you turn it on at 550, 500, max all the way out, that indicates that there's something wrong. You don't really want to see these much higher than 150. You know, everybody's going to have their preferred areas. But I don't like to see an AC system on the high side operating too much higher than 200, and you definitely don't want to see it down here low or negative under a vacuum. This gauge here, if it's running and it's sucking down and your gauge said it was full without it running, that's another issue. So you need to make sure that these gauges are telling you the story that's going on when the system is on. That means the compressor's on, the fans are on, and it's full of refrigerant. So if these gauges are out of spec, you have another problem. You need to start looking to see what's going on. Is the orifice tube clogged? Is there a pinched hose? Is the condenser clogged with material? Is the receiver dryer got a problem? There's so many things that are going on in your AC system. But the gauges all tell you a story. So if you're doing this yourself, you're not really sure. If you don't see a gauge reading between 30 and 50 when the system's on, and say 140 to 200, you know, somewhere in that area, you definitely got an issue. Most commonly what I see is when I have a system that's on, that's full, either the low side pressure is way too high, or it's under a vacuum because there's something else wrong in the system. When it's running, it shouldn't be under a vacuum on the low, or the high pressure side is super low, meaning it's not pumping enough pressure, or it's pumping so much pressure because it can't cool the AC condenser, or there's a restriction somewhere in the system. So this tells you a story of what's going on. Thanks for watching.